So, I decided to make a video about what women really want and the type of man that women in general are really looking for and what they consciously think that they want based on, certain social programming and different, you could say, needs that they have, needs and wants and desires, so what they think they want, and what they unconsciously respond to. So, as a man, you've probably seen many times, and it's even, this kind of popular, almost like a sort of cliche thing at this point that women are attracted to bad boys or women are attracted to assholes, for example. And there's something to that, right? There is within a woman you could say, a biological response of attraction, this unconscious or subconscious response pattern of feeling attracted to certain characteristics or behavioral traits that are embodied by the bad boy or the asshole, right? The overall quality of character of this type of man is probably not ideal, right? It's probably not what the woman consciously thinks she wants or what her family or friends think is good for her, right? But there's certain character traits or behavioral traits, and these character traits, namely, the main one is the fact that the asshole or the bad boy simply does not give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. And what I mean by that is there's no hesitancy in the way he conducts himself. There's no flinch, is what I'm doing okay? Am I okay? Is my behavior approved of? Is this okay? Am I allowed to do, is this okay with you? Oh, where do you want to go to eat? What do you want to do? Oh, can I touch you here? Is this okay? Is that okay? Is this okay? That kind of behavior is repulsive to women. It's repulsive, and that's more akin to the nice guy behavior. But the bad boy or the asshole guy, he doesn't care about that. He's like, all right, this is what we're doing. Boom, this is who I am. There's no flinch. There's no hesitancy. There's no self-doubt or questioning. It's very congruent. It's just poof, he's punching through the wall. He's not punching at oh, is this okay? It's just bam. This is me. I'm okay. Boom. So that, in a way, that's a very positive quality. But the package that it's wrapped in oftentimes is very dysfunctional and unhealthy. Why? Because oftentimes these guys, what they do, drugs, very narcissistic, even borderline sociopathic, and that's why they're able to embody that type of behavior. And so we'll see very attractive women oftentimes with very dysfunctional men. And oftentimes the women are dysfunctional too, but that's aside the point of this video. The point is there's a certain unconscious attraction response that takes place towards these types of men and these character traits. Now, what I want to convey and get across in this video is you don't have to be an asshole. You don't have to be this dysfunctional, self-destructive, abusive type of guy to get attraction from women. You can adopt the positive qualities, namely not giving a fuck, right? And not to say that you don't empathize or you don't care about people's feelings or have compassion. No, not at all. But you just own who you are. You own your values. You're like, boom, this is me. You're not doubting yourself. You're not questioning yourself. You're not hesitating. Oh, am I approved of? Is this okay? Is that no, you're confident. You believe in who you are. You trust yourself. Trust your intentions. Right? So many nice guys struggle with this. They don't quite trust themselves because they're so attached to being good, to being liked, to being approved of. This is how they got by in childhood. Whereas the more asshole guys, they became like the rebels, the rebellious ones. They said, well, I can't really get my needs met. I can't really get approved of because I have to sacrifice who I really am. So fuck that. I'm just gonna rebel. I'm just gonna go against the grain of society. And this is a very attractive trait to women, to go against the grain of society. But oftentimes what this entails is a lot of dysfunctional. Oftentimes these rebellious ones get into drugs, they get into even like crime. They take it so far that it becomes extremely dysfunctional. So for a nice guy to begin to be able to attract women, all he has to do is begin to adopt these qualities, these behavioral traits of owning who he is, no longer caring so much about approval, recognizing that he can still have integrity, he can still be true to himself, while at the same time not being so supplicating, not living his life just to appease everyone, right? Because again, it's a carryover from childhood. Some people got through their childhood, which is really, childhood is akin to like being imprisoned. Essentially, as a child, you're powerless to the authority figures and caregivers around you. So some people, right now we're talking about males, right? Some men, boys, get by in childhood by becoming very appeasing, very people-pleasing. They become what's known as the golden child. Like, okay, whatever mommy and daddy say, whatever the teachers say. This is actually what I did in childhood. Whatever they say, I'm just going to be on my best behavior. And then they repress any traits, anything that's not acceptable. They shove that deep down into the unconscious. And they identify with, attach themselves to that which is acceptable. Now, the rebels, the bad boys, the assholes, do the opposite. They, instead, rebel and go against the grain. They go against what the authority figures and caregivers want. They identify with that which is unacceptable. It's another way of coping with childhood. They say, okay, if I can't do what I want, then fuck them. Fuck that. I'm rebelling. I'm pushing against that. And they become what is known as the black sheep, right? And oftentimes they become the scapegoat of the family. And the family blames them for all their problems. Now, which comes first? Does the child rebel, or do they become the black sheep? I don't know. It's hard to say. But the two usually go hand in hand. They become the scapegoat of the family blames them for all the problems, and this furthers that cycle, entrenches them in fuck the family, fuck the authority figures. And they completely identify with that role of being the rebel. And you can see this in the kids who are troublemakers. The ones who, get into drugs and even things like crime and get bad grades, and they don't listen to the teachers and they don't listen to their parents, etc., etc. And oftentimes these are the ones who are more attractive to women. Why? Because of these subtle behavioral cues and behavioral characteristics of not giving a fuck. That's a really powerful, dominant masculine trait of like, the authority is telling you to do one thing and you're like, nah, fuck that. I'm going against it. I'm being a rebel. I'm standing up, fighting for what I believe in. Right? That's actually a very powerful and attractive trait. Now, when there's a nobility in that, when you hold these beliefs that are righteous and for the well-being of all, to serve the whole, to serve humanity, and you fight for that, now you're coming to a space of being a true, healthy alpha male, embodying that healthy masculinity. Now, this is the most ideal of what women really want, because, again, consciously women think and are programmed to want the nice guy. In their mind, they're like, oh yeah, I just want a nice guy who cares about me, who really loves me. But these men typically don't trigger that attraction response. It's these asshole guys. And then women are so conflicted and confused. They're like, I just want a nice guy, but I'm always attracted to these assholes. Why is that? Because it's programmed into their biology. Historically speaking, if you look, prehistorically, cavemen, right? Who were the ones more likely to survive? The really like nice, gentle guys who are like, is this okay? Is that, is it okay if I stab the tiger that's attacking us? I don't know. I'm kind of scared. I'm not sure if I should do that. Or the guy who's like, fuck this, fucking shoves a spear through the tiger's skull and doesn't think twice about it. Who's more likely to survive? Obviously the guy who embodies those traits of, being confident, being forward moving, not having a hesitancy or any sort of like flinchiness in his behavior. That's the one who's more likely to survive. So of course, biologically speaking, women are programmed to respond more to those guys with a feeling of attraction because they're more likely to help the women and their children, their offspring, to survive. Right? And we are programmed based on our ancestors. Based on, you could say, like the caveman times, right? Or just the prehistoric times. That's most of our history took place in those types of environments. So that's how we're programmed. It's only in very recent history that we've moved into more of a modern societal construct. But the same behavioral traits that attracted women then attract men now. Just the same, qualities that attracted men then attract them now. Namely, mostly physical characteristics that men are attracted to in women, right? But what women are attracted to in men is behavioral character traits, right? Behavioral characteristics. So you can still be a nice guy and adopt these qualities, right? And that is the most ideal because the woman will think logically, yeah, this is the type of, he's a nice guy, he has integrity, he's a good guy, but she also feels that just that pull, that magnetization of physiological attraction and arousal. Right? That is the most ideal for women, but they struggle to find that because that's so rare in men. So when you can adopt that, you still have integrity, you're respectful, you're a gentleman, but you own who you are. You're confident. You don't give a fuck. Someone doesn't approve of you, fuck it. You don't care because you know who you are. You know who you are at your core and what your core values are and what you stand for, what you're willing to fight for, to serve humanity, to serve those who are weaker and more powerless, women, children, right? To protect, to stand up for the rights of all beings, to do what is most beneficial for the whole, right? And to really own that. So you can still be this good guy, this nice guy, and get women attracted to you. It's just more often than not, men are polarized. They're either the nice, appeasing guy. Oh, is this okay? Oh, here's some flowers. Oh, do you want to go on a date? Oh, it's okay if you don't. Oh. And then there's the asshole guy, like, I don't give a fuck, let's go. Like, boom, this is what we're doing. Like, you don't have a voice, this is what we're doing. Bam, okay. Even being abusive at times, right? That neither one of those is ideal, but there is an ideal way of being that incorporates the best of both, right? You could say it's like the alchemization, in a sense, of both of these dysfunctional male patterns or male ways of being. Both are dysfunctional, but you can strip out the dysfunction and integrate what is functional, what is harmonious, what is best. And you can become this ideal man. And that truly is what women want. That's what they fantasize about. That's what they really want, because their subconscious biology responds to it with attraction, and logically they think, yeah, this is a quality guy, this is a good guy, their family approves, their friends approve, right? Because they can see, okay, this guy is quality, he has integrity, right? He would be a good caregiver, a good provider, and he's also fun, right? He fulfills the role of both lover and provider. He's also, like, mysterious. He's not predictable. He's just like a really powerful, strong, integrated, healthy man. And that's what women want. And that's really what I want to convey with this video, is you can become that as a man. You can become that by looking at the traits that are most attracted to women, and the traits of really powerful, strong, and healthy men, not dysfunctional, self-destructive, unhealthy men who, you know, maybe attract women. Like we see like celebrities and rock stars and all that. Yeah, they get a lot of girls, but they're doing drugs, super unhealthy, destroy their lives, destroy the lives of others. Like no, that's a dysfunctional paradigm. That's not where you want to come from. And you don't want to do the opposite of being super nice and appeasing. Oh, my mom said if I just be nice to the girls and buy them flowers and tell them I love them, then they'll like me. No, they won't. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You need to take the best of both, right? And that's being centered, rooted into the truth of who you really are, standing up for what you believe in, fighting for what you believe in, not having this flinchiness or this hesitancy or second guessing yourself, but trusting yourself, being confident, being forward moving, leading, being dominant in a way that is best for everyone. And that to me is being a true healthy man in his prime. So that's what I want for you, any men who watch this video. That's what I'm working towards for myself. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. Remember, as always, live this life from a peak experience, and we will talk soon. Much love.